Well, hello, and welcome to Module 3 in our course, Spiritual Life Dynamics. And I hope that you are enjoying those books as we think about how people change, as we think about spiritual questions we need to wrestle with. And so today, our lecture deals with stewardship, but not money, time. This lecture is entitled Rhythms and Balance. When we typically hear the word stewardship, our first result, our first response, our first go-to area is that of finances. Oh no, it's time to build a building, oh, special offering time, or whatever it is in your church culture. And it does include finances, obviously, but it includes so much more. The foundation of biblical stewardship, it starts with the premise of viewing God as the owner of everything, not just money, everything. It seems that in today's business literature, there's a buzz over this word balance. Balance. What if that's the wrong emphasis? What if instead we should be thinking about the word rhythm? Bruce Miller, about nearly 20 years ago, wrote a book entitled Your Life in Rhythm. Here's what he says. The pressure of trying to keep every part of your life, work, relationships, church, recreation, and more, in balance each day only leads to frustration and burnout, no matter how hard you try. Meanwhile, all around you, the natural world moves in rhythm, seasons changing, sun rising and setting, your heart beating, your lungs breathing. If you stop the futile effort of trying to live in balance and instead try to live in harmony with life's natural rhythms, you'll accomplish what matters most with less stress and guilt. Pretty powerful statement. And that's from his book, Your Life in Rhythm, published in 2009. He's a senior pastor, and he's expressing something that we all sense, but we struggle sometimes to articulate. So let me give another perspective. This is from a yoga coach, a life coach in the yoga tradition, Nicole Lobald, writing in the Lake Minnetonka magazine. Okay, so not a believer. I believe there is no such thing as a perfectly balanced life. There are times in our lives when we need to focus more time and energy on family. There will be times when our work priorities are more time consuming and our social life may suffer. Hopefully, there are also times when it seems easy to squeeze in play and self care. We have seasons in our life. We have times when we'll be more focused on raising kids, building a career, or enjoying hobbies. Allowing yourself to be aware of the season you are in may help you embrace what's most important in that moment. By loosening your grip on the way things should be and allowing them to be as they are, you might find more ease. The coach doesn't use the word rhythm per se, but she seems to be describing the same thoughts recognized by Pastor Miller, Bruce Miller, in the first quote. It seems like a noteworthy endeavor for us to consider is to ditch the balancing quest and instead seek to find harmony and rhythm. So I want to share with you some practical steps in this lecture. I don't think this will be as long as some of the ones we had in our last module, but just practical steps about rhythm. So let me first talk about this concept of balance. Okay, we're sometimes programmed with the idea I've got to learn how to keep all these balls up in the air, and I've got to learn how to keep all these responsibilities going. I got everything spinning, and we think this is balance. Let me illustrate balance to you. Okay, we're going to pull a tightrope over Niagara Falls. Don't worry, I'm not going to have you step on it. We're going to get a professional tightrope walker. Professional. Does this for a living. We're going to give him his big pole, balancing stick, whatever you want to call it. And then we're just going to watch him walk across Niagara Falls. If you watch closely, here's what you'll find. He's never balanced. What he's doing is always adjusting. He's leaning a bit this way, so he'll compensate, lean back the other way. He's not balanced. He's always adjusting and always compensating. It's an illusion. Balance is an illusion in life in general. So rhythm, harmony might be a better way to approach this. So, okay, that sounds like interesting topics. I don't know why it's doing in a counseling course or a self-care type of a course. If you make balance the goal, as Miller points out in that first quote, you'll find yourself with burnout. You'll find yourself with pressure, guilt, anxiety. None of that. None of those things of which Christ intends for you to carry. So, the analogy stuck in our head, let's think about living with rhythms and balances, a rhythm and harmony, I guess. Number one, first practical step, get off the balance beam. Get rid of that metaphor. It's unrealistic to give proportionate effort to every dimension of your life every day. Well, I think I can do it. Life doesn't stay the same every day. Life is dynamic, constantly changing. And if we're going to learn to live well, we have to learn how to adapt to those changes. Trying to live a balanced life puts an impossible burden on you. And you'll struggle to keep up with all the daily demands, no matter how hard you try. This isn't about trying harder. You'll end up feeling frustrated. You're not spending enough time with your spouse. You're not spending enough time with your kids. Your dreams are dying. Oh, I wish I could do more for the Lord. And the people at church need me, and I'm just not there for them. All of a sudden, you're pulled in so many different directions. You start wondering if maybe I'm not pursuing the right calling. Maybe I missed a blessing I mistook a blessing for a calling, and God hasn't gifted me to do this. And we start second guessing everything. Why? Because we're on this balance beam where God didn't put us. Society put us there. And we're trying to use that metaphor in a dynamic setting. It's not wise. No matter how hard you try, you're not going to meet your deadlines. You're not going to serve enough. You're not going to maintain your house and yard well. So free yourself from the pressure that culture puts on us to live a balanced life. Get off the balance beam. Number two, appreciate life's natural rhythms. God's planned everything at the right time. Sometimes it's time to work hard. Sometimes it's time to rest and recover. Sometimes it's the time to pursue a degree. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's time to grieve. Sometimes it's time to celebrate. It's natural rhythms, aren't there? Certain days, weeks, months are different from others. Just as you go through different stages of life, from infancy to old age, rather than trying to achieve the same balance regardless of what time it is, focus on one season at a time. I'm at a different season of life than I was when I started ministry 35 years ago or something like that. Now I'm in the grandparenting stage. Now I'm getting closer to the empty nest stage. Life is a different stage. I'm doing things that I wasn't able to do previously. It's a different stage of life. It's a different season of life. At the same time, as I am sensing some of these new freedoms that come from being at a different stage, there's also limitations. I can't do the things I did 30 years ago. I can't run marathons anymore, half marathons. My knees won't allow it. I can't drive through the night anymore safely. Coffee doesn't keep me, doesn't it doesn't have the same punch it did. I need a little more sleep than I did when I was 21 years old or 22 years old. I don't have the energy level. I don't have the metabolism level that I had. There's changes. So I can bemoan the things that used to be, oh, the good old days, or I can embrace the season I'm in right now. Wow, this is really good. So that's what I mean by appreciate the natural rhythms of life. Number three, create a life mission statement. Think about it. Pray about it. Why are you here on earth? Why? I'm here to bring glory to God. Great. Well, I appreciate the catechism and the programmed answer. Practically, how are you doing that? Well, whatsoever eat, drink, or do, I'm bringing all. Yeah, okay, I did all that too. But what's your purpose? What are you doing with your life? Then write down a mission statement. Use it as a guiding principle, not an anchor, but a guide. It'll help you make the most of your time by giving you boundaries within those rhythms of life. We can't live life on mission if we don't know what mission is, right? So create a life mission statement. You said that just sounds corny. Okay. All right, I'll shoot straight with you. When I was 21, I didn't need a life mission statement. Bless God, I'm gonna just change the world. I'm gonna preach the gospel. And Jesus is gonna come back before I have kids anyway. Oh, well, he's gonna come back before they get into school. Oh, he's gonna come back before they get married. You kick the can down the road, you kick the can down the road, you kick the can down the road. And it's not like those years have been wasted. I would never say that I've wasted, squandered opportunities. I've tried to redeem the time God's given to me. But from this vantage point, looking back, it would have helped me have a filter, a grid, what to say yes to, what to say no to. There's power in saying yes, and there's power in saying no. And having a mission, a God-given mission, helps me to filter some of these things that come in. Number four, become a wise steward. Take stock of who you are. I'm amazed. I won't ask it in this class, but I will have you think about it. I often ask people, what's your spiritual gift? And they're like, pretty good at video games. Okay. No, let's think a little deeper. Let's think about something else. Well, I'm really good at taking naps. Okay, let's keep thinking through this a little bit, right? So there's these thoughts. What is your spiritual gift? Because your spiritual gifting helps navigate you into your mission. So, and you're to be a steward of that gift because God didn't give you that gift to make money. He gave you that gift to build up the body of Christ. So how are you doing? Take a stock of who you are, what God has made you to be responsible for. A good parent to your kids, a good employee on the job, a good believer. Keep your stewardship responsibilities in mind when you're making decisions about how you're going to use your time. Every season of your life, steward it. You steward time as much as, if not more, than stewarding money. Number five, be attentive to the cycles and seasons of life. The world that we live in is structured already according to cycles. There's 5 ongoing cycles in every single one of our lives. There's a yearly cycles, there's a quarterly cycles, there's the monthly cycles, there's the weekly cycles, and then there's the daily cycles. We've got these rhythms, we've got these seasons, we've got these cycles already built into our calendar. And then in addition to that, we go through different seasons in life that make it easier to say whether it's the right or wrong time for certain activities. The birth of a child, the death of a parent, starting a new job, getting laid off, retiring. Rather than trying to exhaust yourself doing everything in balance at the same time, think about doing various activities in rhythm at different times. I don't have to approach life with how do I keep all this stuff going in the air at the same time. Number 6, live in sync with current life stage. All of your time is ultimately in God's hands. So ask God for wisdom. And you need to understand what's appropriate for the stage He has you in at that moment. Do you have kids? How old are you? What stage are you in? Are you just starting your career? Is this your first ministry position? Have you started your position yet? Where are you at in your life? Do you have recent changes that affect you in profound ways? I've been diagnosed with a serious illness. Oh, my spouse just got this diagnosis, or whatever, Once you understand the time of life that you live in, figure out how to live well while in that stage. Live in sync with where God has you. Number seven, this goes along with it. Release yourself from unrealistic expectations. I've had jobs where the unwritten expectation, it wasn't ever verbalized, but unwritten, it seemed like the expectation was 78 hours a week. And for seasons, that's right, probably accurate. And for seasons, it can actually be enjoyable because maybe we're accomplishing something big. It's not sustainable year after year and decade after decade. So release the unrealistic expectations. You can increase a lot of peace in your life by letting go of expectations that don't fit your rhythms. Rather than trying to live in a different season than the one that you're in, single people who wish they were married, or young people who wish they were older, or working people who wish they were retired. Trust that God has placed you in this particular stage of life right now with a good reason, and live fully in that moment, understanding you're right where God wants you to be. And let God manage the expectations. Manage the expectations with Him, not so you're training to be ministry, you're training to be counselors. Your counselee is going to have expectations for you. Maybe he wants you to be available 24/7. If I ever need a problem, I just want to be able to call you at 2 a.m. Set the boundaries. Maybe those aren't the expectations you're living with. Maybe those are unrealistic expectations. I've got 20 people I'm counseling. They call me at all times of the night. I haven't even had 5 hours of sleep in a night in 2 years. It's unsustainable. So, but I want to help. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know who said it first, but our strengths become our kryptonite. What do you mean? Inherent in every strength that God gives to us is the ability to go to an extreme, which becomes a weakness. What's this? I like it. I like to be a people pleaser. I like people to be happy. I like to help. So what happens is I can allow that to set the expectations for my life, and I can say yes to so many people that I don't realize I'm saying no to my family. And what was good, a desire to help people, now becomes a weight because it's pulling them away from a God-given role. Do you see how this? Do you see the trap? You know, I have a strength to be a leader. God's given me the gifts of leadership. Yeah, and the abuse of that, I can become dictatorial, or I can ramrod my thoughts and say, "Hey, look, I have to get this is just what needs to be done," and I can run over people in the process. I have the gift of teaching. The strength of that is that you can help people see things clearly. The weakness is uh, you have a hard time seeing sometimes when you're wrong. And so you just teach things confidently. And when people try to correct you, but I have the gift of teaching. And so you can become prideful in that rather than being humble in that approach. And you can do this with all the gifts, right? So manage these expectations and release the unrealistic ones. Number eight, seize God-given opportunities. Enjoy the blessings of this season by seizing the opportunity God brings your way to learn, the opportunity brings your way to grow. Live in the present. Don't pine over the past. And don't demand that the next season gets here quicker. Don't resent the challenges of the season that you're in right now. Pray for God to give you the strength, the grace, and His perspective on it, because He may be preparing you for the next season. Seize the opportunities. Number nine, anticipate what's next. I don't mean long for it. I don't mean I wish this season would end so I could get to the next one. But I mean, thinking about, yes, I'm in this stage right now, but I know what's coming, and God help me to prepare for it. And sometimes when I feel stuck in my current stage, it's good for me to remember this doesn't last forever. I don't change diapers anymore, at least very rarely. Occasionally I will change a grandchild's, but most of the time it's like, hey, I'll call my wife. I think they need you. But when you're getting up every night at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or the baby's waking you up at earlier than you want to, or your sleep patterns all messed up. Hey, that's a stage, but it's not forever. It changes. One day your kids grow older, and one day they're gone. They've left the house. They graduate from college. That was this past summer. As of this recording, we had our third daughter. Walked down the marriage aisle, and we got a third son-in-law out of our five daughters. Three are now married. Time is moving, right? So uh, life moves on. Anticipate what's coming, but enjoy where you're at. Do your best for as long as you're in the current stage God has you, to just appreciate where He has you, to recognize the cycles, the rhythms, and do what God has gifted you to do at that moment, so that when you move to the next one, there's no regrets. Number 10, pace yourself. I struggled with this as a young ministry staff member. Why'd you struggle, Mike? Jesus is coming soon. I got to win the world to Jesus tonight because tomorrow morning it may be too late for them. So there's a good heart there, really good heart, but you can expend so much energy that you run out of gas before you get to the finish line. The other side of it is, yeah, I've heard Jesus is coming soon my whole life. He's probably not coming for another 50 years. I got plenty of time. So we become apathetic, lethargic. There's a ditch on both sides of the road. So we have to learn to pace ourselves. Before I blew my knee out, I had one goal. I did it with a group of guys I had in my singles class and some coworkers as well. We ran the Hollywood Half Marathon. Boy, I trained for this. I would always running, and sometimes in my training, I would run 15, 16 miles, 17 miles, just trying to get ready for this race. I knew it was coming, and I wanted to finish. So I trained for it. Well, on the day of the race, there was a guy in my singles class at the time who had run this exact race before, and he said, I'll run with you." Great. Hey, that'd be awesome. It quickly became evident that he wasn't running with me, I was running with him. I looked at my watch, and the pace was a little bit faster than I had been practicing and training for. This was a pace I wasn't sure if I could sustain. And we hit that 10-mile marker. I was okay at the 10-mile marker, but man, about 10 and a half, 11 miles into this thing, 2 miles to go, I was like, where's the finish line? I was running out of gas. And I said, okay, we got to finish this thing. So I tried to pick it up a little bit. He goes, man, Mike, you're picking up the pace. And I was like, we got to get to the finish line, got to get to the finish line. And by the time we came to the 13-mile mark and, we got to point two left, you could see the finish line. Man, if you could have seen me running across the finish line, I guarantee you at that stage of the race, Grandma and her walker could have passed me. It, I may have called it running, but it would have looked like walking backwards. When I crossed the finish line, I just fell on the concrete and laid down and saying, please, somebody give me water. I didn't even want to move. Went back to my hotel and I jumped in a tub and just soaked in hot water for 30, 40 minutes before we even left the area. What happened, Mike? It was the wrong pace. I started well. The overall time was better than I wanted to, but the last segment, that finishing segment, I didn't finish strong because of pacing. It taught me something about racing with the right people, but it also was a good reminder about ministry, about life. A lot of people in the Bible started well. They don't all finish well. I want to challenge you to finish well. Be not weary in well doing. In due season, you'll reap if you faint not. Pace yourself. Instead of trying to manage time, allow your life to flow in harmony with time's cycle. Pay attention to your biological clock. It tells you when your body needs food. It tells you when your body needs sleep. Listen to it. Don't force yourself into an arbitrary schedule to try to gain balance. If I go to bed 30 minutes later, if I get up 30 minutes earlier, I'm creating an hour to get more done for Jesus. And those hacks, those shortcuts may work in the short term. I promise you, they'll probably work in the short term. They're not long-term solutions. We need to learn to live as medical doctor Richard Swenson wrote in his book. We need to live with margin. Margin. When that book first came out, they would ask me often, "Hey, Mike, have you read that book, Margin?" A lot of people had been reading it in the Christian world, ministry leaders. It was very helpful, and I had a standard answer. And I'd like to. I just don't have the margin to read Margin. Why? Because I was burning the candle at both ends and running at an unsustainable pace, unhealthy pace. So pace yourself. Release yourself from the pressure of all these responsibilities coming to bear on you at one time. Uh, Set up the rhythms, the natural cycles. This is when I'm going to do this. This is when I'm going to do that. This is when I'm going to do this responsibility. Just don't pace yourself for the long race. Number 11, build some life enhancing routines, healthy routines that are connected to a deeper meaning or significance. Practice them regularly. Rituals like visiting your grandparents if they're still alive. I can't visit my grandparents anymore. They're all of my grandparents, great grandparents. They're all in heaven. Uh, my parents are in their mid 70s. My wife's parents are in their 80s. So we call them. We have times where we schedule this is when we're going to call. This is when we're going to go visit. They both live in different states from us. So there's our state and one parent state and another set of parent states. And so this is the season we're in, why we have this opportunity. We want to have this as part of our routine. Maybe it's a weekly ritual, like I'm going to go to church Sunday morning and Wednesday night or whatever time services you have, but it's just part of that resetting, if you will. Maybe there's a daily ritual, like going to the gym. Maybe there's weekly rituals. I'm going to take my wife out out to eat once a week or at least once a month, or I'm going to do something special with each of my kids at least one night a month. Just rituals. While you set them up, stay flexible because every day is different and you have to learn to adapt. But learn to live with some routines that breathe life into you rather than taking it out. And then number 12, learn to oscillate between work and rest. Jesus says, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest." There's nothing unspiritual about rest. Yeah, but we need to have a theology of work. I agree. We also need a theology of rest. So, but I need to get things done. We're not human doings, we're human beings. It was God's idea to institute the Sabbath. It was God's idea to institute principles of rest. Let's trust Him as the creator of all the systems we see, as the creator of our own bodies. Let's give Him the benefit of the doubt that He might know what we need, right? Rest, work, rest. We see this in Jesus' life. Work, intensity, renewal. At times, it is best to work hard, to plod, to plow through something. Sometimes it's best to rest. Whatever season you're in, work or rest, give your full attention here. If I'm on rest mode, then I'm not on my phone. I'm not like jumping up and saying, "Hey, one second." So I put my phone in do not disturb quite often. It's in do not disturb right now. There are seasons when if I'm going out with my wife, it's her birthday, or I'm taking one of my kids out for a birthday, or we're going away to something special. So do not disturb. I'll check messages later, but I want to be all in. This is a time for renewal. This is a time for rest. Uh, every night at a certain time, my phone goes into do not disturb mode and it doesn't come on until the next morning. Why? Because what a lot of people believe as emergencies aren't always emergencies. Um, and so there are things that I give priority to. So oscillate between this work and rest. And when it's time to rest, rest well. Don't let work creep into it. When it's time to work, don't be lazy. Work hard. And this idea, and then one more, this idea of rhythms and harmony. Live with eternity in view. Live with eternity in view. Ask God to help you see life from an eternal perspective and make the best decisions with that in mind. What's going to help me have the best kingdom impact? So we're talking about spiritual maturity and spiritual health right in this class. So an immature believer vacillates between right and wrong, right and wrong, right and wrong. What's wrong with that? Well, what's wrong with that? Prove it to me from the Bible. Mature believers moving from right and wrong to, okay, this is good, but this is better. This is best. So rather than getting caught up in right, wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong, they're prioritizing their decisions on what's going to have the best impact, what's good, what's better, what's best. And good, better, and best isn't sinful, right? Good is still good. It's not sinful, but best beats good. So living with that eternity in mind so that we can be a good steward of this gift called life. I'll leave you with a quote. Benjamin Franklin said, "Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time. For time is the stuff that life is made of." Good wisdom. He wasn't a believer, but as believers, we can say, you know, you're right, Mr. Franklin. We are to steward this gift called life, and life is made up of moments. And may God help us to live with these moments with eternity in mind. You say, why do you say that? Well, because truth matters. I hope you'll keep that in mind. Until our next class, I'll see you. Hope you're enjoying and learning some things and being challenged in your thinking. I look forward to seeing you in our next lecture. God bless.